20 seconds. 20 seconds. We're talking about a winner's edge. So when we talk about a winner's edge, I want us to really break it down, right? So with a winner's edge, what we're basically saying is there are small differences in ability, okay? And that could translate into an enormous difference in the results. So winner's edge, once again, is dealing with small differences in ability and how that could translate into enormous differences in results. Why did I say 20 seconds? Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. So there was a development coach that I read about in Atomic Habits, right, by James Clear, and his name is Dave Brailsford, right? And he helped out with the British cycling team, you know, in the Tour de France. Now, the British cycling team, they were just like bombing for over 100 years. They did not win a Tour de France. So what did old Dave do? He started to really look at developing that winner's edge. He focused on something known as the aggregation of marginal gains, which basically it aligns with Atomic Habits. You know, what small changes can we do on a daily basis to dramatically improve our results? So with the aggregation of marginal gains, what it's basically stating is that if you improve a skill by 1% every day, then you'll be better than 90% of people with that same skill. I gotta say that again. If you improve a particular skill by 1% every day, you'll be better than 90% of the people with that same skill. So when we go back to Dave Brailsford, what he did in the Tour de France, now he did many things, but one of the small things he did was he brought in an actual surgeon. Now think about that, a surgeon. Now what do you think he did with that surgeon? Do you think he had them do some type of enhancements or some type of muscle alteration or some type of performance drug? No. He brought in a surgeon just to have the athletes on the team so that surgeon could teach those athletes how to properly wash their hands. It took an average of 20 seconds. Some people say when you wash your hands with soap and water to sing happy birthday. You know, I would bless y'all with that, but you're not ready for my vocal skills, right? But just by washing their hands properly, that drastically cut down on the amount of germs that were on their hands, which cut down on spreading those germs and sickness. So there was a lot of emphasis on those small things, aggregation of marginal gains. And within a few years of bringing in that coach, that development coach, they won their first of many medals in the Tour de France. Okay, so they broke that 100+ year streak of losing just by developing that winner's edge. Just, you know, it was more to it. You know, there was a lot of little 20-second tweaks that were made. So I'm just simply saying, what are your 20 seconds? Have you identified them? And if you have, let's start doing whatever our 20 seconds is, right? That winner's edge. Think of it like this. Remember, once again, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. If we were to go to, like, let's say the Amazon rainforest or somewhere, and you have two plants growing side by side. So I have two plants growing side by side, but one plant grows just a little bit faster. It stretches just a little bit more. And what happens is if it stretches just a little bit more, it's gonna get a little bit more sunlight. It's gonna absorb a little bit more rain. So it's gathering that energy from the sun. So what happens the very next day? Since it has just a little bit more energy, it's able to stretch up just a little bit further over the other one, which means it gathers a little bit more sunlight, so more energy, a little bit more rain. So you see that pattern starting to develop, right? So over time, one plant is gonna be drastically stronger than the other. It's gonna eventually crowd out the other plant. It is eventually going to be able to absorb and claim and receive the light, the soil, and the nutrients for itself. Now, of course, that's in nature, or we may think of other examples in the animal kingdom. You know, we're not trying to divide and conquer and take everybody out. Well, maybe some of us are, you know, but overall, 20 seconds. We got to identify our 20 seconds. Just think, if we develop something by 1% every day, we'll be better than 90% of people with that same skill. Small differences in ability translate into enormous differences in results. Today is day number 407 for me. If you're not familiar with my journey, every single day for the last 407 days, I've ran a mile. Now I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, but even if I don't go, or the days I don't go, I have not skipped a day in the last 407 days. That's my aggregation of marginal gains. That's what I'm using as my winner's advantage. And I'm so proud at the results. Yesterday, for the first time, and we're not gonna say, I saw the first number in my weight change from a 2 to a 1. Small differences in ability translate into enormous differences in results. Improve a particular skill by 1% every day, you'll be better than 90% of people with that same skill. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. Y'all have an amazing day.